To feed them a month? Oh, it's saying something. Let me see what it says. Hopefully it's still recording. Oh, I'm going on 40 minutes already. Okay. So Moses said all that to God. He's like trying to figure out. That's like people trying to figure out the rapture. We don't know when Jesus is coming back. And it says don't set a day or the hour. Why are you trying to figure it out, right? So Moses just leaves it to the Lord, apparently, because the Lord said unto Moses, Is the Lord's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. And Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord. Because Moses just, okay, I'll just have faith and go tell them what you said. And Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in a cloud and spake unto him. And by the way, this cloud that the Lord came down in, Grace Before Midnight had just mentioned, and I was like, I don't remember that story, Lord, about the led him by a cloud by day and a fire by night. He mentioned that in one of his videos, and of all things this morning it's opened, and it includes this. And the Lord came down in a cloud and spake unto him, and took of the Spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but were not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, My Lord Moses, forbid them. And Moses said unto him, Enviest thou for my sake? Would God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his Spirit upon them? And Moses gat him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel. And there went forth a wind from the Lord, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp, and as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. And the people stood up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, before it was even chewed, it was just, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a great plague. And he called the name of that place Kibroth Hattaavah, because they buried the people that lusted. And the people journeyed from Kibroth Hattaavah unto Hazeroth, and abode at Hazeroth. So that brings us to chapter 12. I'm going to pick that up in another video, in the next video, kind of this one continued, because right there, you get fed if it's a can of green beans with some soup in it, because you got $2. That happened to me before. Or you got $20 for the month to eat on, and you got a can of green beans, 2 cans of green beans, 2 cans of soup, and you make that a meal, and that has to last you a day while you go without. You'll be very grateful about them beans and soup, because that mushroom soup by itself wasn't even very hearty, but put in a can of green beans, I think I ate for $1.50 that day, and I made it that month, because God provided, whether it was some pancake mix and I know people make fun of people like me, but just keep it to yourself, because the next chapter goes into people making fun of maybe not making fun, but putting Moses down. A child of God who's walking and believing that he'll feed them and they'll take what he gives, instead of, it wasn't like I was like, I should be eating steak and sweet potatoes and, whatever. I was like, wow, that soup, that was a good idea, God, to put that soup and that green beans. And I would pray first because I didn't want to waste it because it had to last, So he just gave me kind of divinely the way to get through that month. And he feeds us, whether it's a famine like Elijah experienced, by the brook, and then I think he sent an angel one time and a raven another time to feed them. It's amazing. It's amazing if you just watch for the way God does things. According to the Old Testament, he'll strengthen you in your faith. And so here God is, he's giving people what they need to survive, and they're kind of not seeing him as the giver. They're longing for when they were in bondage. Maybe my sister got in a little trouble and didn't understand because she's just quit smoking miraculously and quit things that she never thought possible. And, the pain came back that she'd been healed of. And maybe she wasn't giving God glory for taking that urge from her. I don't know. That's between her and God. But maybe she started eating too much, and, putting the weight on was God's way of correcting her. I don't know. But, in your own heart, when you've done wrong and you're being corrected, if you're praying about it and like, correct me, Lord, before I get in trouble, because I don't want to be going back into bondage thinking, well, it was better there. No, walking with the Lord is so much better. Don't look back. Don't be like Lot's wife and look back and say, why do they get to keep sinning? Because we don't want to keep sinning. It grieves the Holy Spirit, which is our power and why we have the strength that we have. He's strengthening us with what we need. Just like pointing out Grace Before Midnight to me, a man walking with God and really speaking truth. He was already talking about that cloud by day and the fire by night that they were being led. And you think, then they're getting food from heaven. And it's like a coriander seed that looks like bdellium, and being fed that in a wilderness. And they're looking back at how good they had it food-wise when they were in Egypt, all forced to work hard labor and beat, and just the lust of their stomach made them long for that. Just seeing evil around you can make you want money. Why do they get all the money? Maybe don't lust after things that are not godly, because he has a different plan for us as his children, and it looks humble. It might look like a can of soup and some green beans to get you through the month, but it'll get you through the month, and it'll still strengthen you. You should be weak and unable to go, but it'll still strengthen you to do a move or whatever he wants you to do, to go from rich to humble, or from whatever it is. It's still better with God strengthening you. You'll feel the power of the Lord in your life if you'll keep praying only for his glory, only for his intervention. I only want help from him. I reject help from anywhere else, because people are selling their souls now. They're listening to music that has spells on it from the enemy. This, they say, all kinds of tricks of the enemy to get in your subconscious. I can dream now, and I'll fight in the dream when it's not of God. He equips me even in my non-waking state. People say, I can't help what I dream. Oh, yes, you can. God will protect you even whilst you're asleep if you put your faith and trust in him and ask him to. So we'll pick up Numbers, where we leave off, 12 here in a minute. And this involves Moses' sister and people conspiring against him, and he feels singled out or left alone. So coming right up. We're almost 50 minutes. Okay, I've got to upload this. Bye.